All right, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Did you can just shake your head. Did everybody get the PDF that I sent today via email? Okay, all right, awesome. Okay, so this is our You Can Do It Pacesetters number 1. And tonight we are covering attitude, life management, goal setting, visionary planning. Then there's going to be some homework. And I have not done anything to like create a points tracker. So what I really like for you to do is like do your homework, share that with your sales director, like what you're working on. And that way she'll know what's going on, what you're doing. And that way we can like work you guys through anything that you need to work through on the homework. So probably I'm going to continue doing it this way. And then at the new year, I'll look at my pace setter, see if there's anything I need to revamp, which probably it will. And then I might go to a point system and we'll do some big prizes and stuff. So attitude management, like, do you ever feel like you need an attitude adjustment? Yes, I do too. And so sometimes we are predisposed to react to things in certain ways. It's genetic, it's the way that we're raised. It's just a lot of different things can influence that. And sometimes we have to retrain our brain to think a new thought. And so I know that like with Mary Kay, it has retrained my brain to think a new thought. Would everybody agree with that? Like, do you feel like you're in the process of being trained? And so, so when in face-to-face situations, your attitude totally precedes you. And, actually, I think Brianna touched on this a little bit last night of, when you approach someone, they see your attitude. They feel what you are giving off before you ever arrive to them. And so, if you're out and about and you're talking to people, or even if you're just like out and about and you have no intention of doing any warm chatting at all, I always just like to smile at people. And if I can find a compliment to offer, I will definitely do that. But let's talk about like when you are greeting people, when they're coming in for a beauty experience, always greet people with a smile. Even if you're not feeling it, you want to like fake it till you make it. Like when you're not feeling that smile, put on a big one and act like you're loving it. And so always make great eye contact and, speak in a friendly, upbeat voice. If you are not a hugger or you feel like you need to get to know somebody a little bit better before you hug them, obviously you want to extend your hand and shake their hand. It is so nice to meet you. And I like to do like the double handshake, like where I put both my hands around their hand and make that eye contact with just saying, oh my goodness, Cecilia, it is so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming today. And so I just think that our enthusiasm, our warmth, it just like shows our confidence and it makes people relate to us almost immediately. So, when we're feeling a little bit negative, when we're feeling a little bit down, the thing to do is find what it is that puts you in your happy place. You might do some quiet time. You might reach out to your sales director or your recruiter and just express to her what is going on. You might listen to some upbeat music, do some jumping jacks, whatever, get your heart pumping, do something to like, get that enthusiasm going. Be enthusiastic in every possible way. People love being with enthusiastic people. And I totally believe that enthusiasm is absolutely contagious. So have you ever seen a brand new consultant come into the business? She is so excited, so enthusiastic about her business. In her first month, she sells $5,000, recruits 16 people, and like becomes a national sales director the next day. Like, have you all met people like that? That is because they are so sold out to this company, so enthusiastic about it, that it was so contagious that everybody around them wanted to be a part of it. And so I am not telling you to be fake. I'm not telling you to be over the top, but if you can show your passion and your enthusiasm for our company, whether it's about our products, our company, the business, whatever it is, that people buy into that. So enthusiasm is absolutely everything. So it is also your personal brand, like if you are, your personal brand, like your enthusiasm, your attitude, it is your personal brand. When people think of you, what do they think of? Do they think, oh, she is such a sad Sally. I do not like hanging out with her. Or do they say, she is so much fun to be with? What are the things that people say about you when they talk about, when they think about you? So your attitude of excitement and enthusiasm is your brand. And that's what draws your clients to you. That's what draws your recruits to you. And so I want you guys to get into that habit of being excited, enthusiastic. Sometimes it's a fake it till you make it. I am not even kidding you. If you are not feeling making phone calls, you get yourself up, you run in place, you do some jumping jacks. I'm not kidding you. You get those endorphins going and it is going to change your mindset. Y'all think I'm crazy, but I promise you it totally works. So, the other thing I want to tell you guys is how you introduce yourself as a Mary Kay consultant. So tell me, and you can unmute if you want to, but if I said to you, hey, my name is Christy, I sell Mary Kay. So that might like put up this big red flag of like, ooh, back off. I don't want to be sold to. Or you could say, hey, my name is Christy. I'm a professional Mary Kay beauty consultant. I teach skincare and makeup artistry techniques with our high-end luxury products. I would love to get together with you. Who do you want to get together with? I sell Mary Kay, or I'm a professional Mary Kay consultant. So people will say, what makes you different? What makes you professional? And so obviously you're trained, you love the company, you're sold out, you're all in. All of those things make you a professional in this company. You've done the advanced skincare training, you've done the advanced color, you've done all of the MKU, you've done all those things. That's what makes you a professional. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Well, so 6 ways to brand yourself with an attitude of enthusiasm. Be enthusiastic in every possible way. And I think I've already said this. Don't be fake about it. I mean, be genuine. And I think part of the enthusiasm is like that eye contact and that smile and, even laughing at your own jokes. I think it is part of even laughing at yourself when you make a little bit of a mistake. It's okay to do those things. Like people buy into that. And so that just, makes you real, it makes you genuine. And so the more you do it, the easier it's going to get and you won't be faking it so much. People get things, be brief. People get things a lot quicker than we think. So get in, get out, be enthusiastic. One of the things that, like Brianna was sharing last night with talking to corporate people about partnering with them, is you want to get in and get out with them, be to the point, be excited about what you're talking about, make that eye contact, good firm handshake, and just be brief into it. There was one corporate woman who told me she made those decisions, and she said, when you go in to talk to someone, always stand up, and that way they know if you sit down, they think you're going to be there too long. So something good to know. So I do believe number 3, being expectant. And this was something that we kind of talked about last night, is that you assume the yes. Wouldn't you love to get registered? I am assuming the yes. And to be honest with you guys, every time I walk into a party, every time I know I'm going to do a beauty experience, I am expectant of that. I am expectant that I am going to be a blessing to them, that I am going to make a connection with these women, and they're going to fall in love with the product, and they're going to fall in love with me, and they're going to fall in love with the business. Now, what they do with it from there is totally up to them, but I am expectant of those things. And typically that means I have sales, I have new recruits, and I have future bookings. So be visible. You know what, you guys, success comes from showing up. You guys are here right now, and you all are consistently at meeting and at training. These are the things that set you apart from other consultants. And as team builders, I will just share with you guys, as you start building your team, as you start, become like moving towards sales director in that position and above, when you set the example of always showing up, your people will always show up. And so if you want your consultants to attend meeting and to attend events and participate in everything, then that means you've got to set the example for them. Be visible at everything. Number 5, be fearless. And you know what, you guys, sometimes it's a little bit hard to be fearless. And so I always, this is what I visualize about being fearless. And I know all of you guys can totally relate to this. Do you all know that song, I'm Letting Go? I can't remember who sings it, but anyway, she says, stepping off the ledge. And so when I feel like I need to be fearless, I just visualize myself like stepping off that ledge, and then God is carrying me the rest of the way. And so that is all about being fearless, just handing it over and just letting it go. And then obviously being consistent. And I recently had a consultant tell me, I know I'm not exactly where I want to be, and I know it's because I've not been consistent. And so anyway, if that describes you, then you can take some action to be more consistent in your business. If you need ideas on how to be more consistent, talk to your sales director. We can help you with that. Okay, so we have attitude homework. So we're going to create a new habit. And so if you guys are familiar with the book, it like just completely left me. But anyway, this came from a book. It's called Savers. The last one is not an S. But I totally believe that getting up early every morning and starting your day off with some silence, we're going to take the next 21 days and we're going to create a new habit. And we're going to have that quiet time. We're going to have some silence. Christina already said this morning she got up, she practiced her positive affirmations. That's so important. You say them out loud over and over to yourself. And maybe you want to set a timer on your phone that 3 or 4 times a day it says, say your affirmations, because the more you say them, the more you believe them. Visualization, this trains your brain to see what you want it to see. And I've never had a problem with visualization, but I have heard that some people do have a problem with visualization. But I can go there in my mind in a heartbeat. In fact, when I was a child and I was in school, my teachers would tell my parents, Christy can look right straight at you and not hear a word you're saying. She is lost in her own world. And I've carried that into adulthood as well. So I also believe that number 4, exercise. Even if it's just a 10-minute walk, up your street and back, up and down your steps a few times, it clears your brain. You guys, in 2015 or 16, I can't remember what year it was, I started walking every single morning, almost every single morning. I would walk around my neighborhood, and I still do. It's either 30 minutes or it's 45 minutes, depending on how much time I have every single morning. And so it keeps my mind clear. A lot of times I have a conversation with God as I'm walking, and it just clears my mind. I've gotten in, even better shape, staying in shape. Walking is so good for you. And I've probably lost about 25 pounds as a result of it. So it was like all of these things, and I lost 25 pounds. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll take that too. So the exercise is really good. Reading a minimum of 10 pages a day. Choose your own book, whatever book that is. If you want a recommendation, I've got some really good recommendations on books. And then this last one is journaling. And journaling is not always easy. I totally get that. But I don't journal every single day, but it's just like whatever's on my mind, whatever I feel like is either bothering me or what I'm excited about. If you would just want it to be a grateful journal at first until you get better with it. But I heard, I don't know if you all are familiar with Pastor Greg Groeschel. He was like, I was reading back in my journal from like a year ago, and I was totally stressing about a situation. I went back and I read it, and I was like, that was not a big deal at all. And he had made it into a big deal. So it's good to write those things down. And then when you go back and read about them, you're like, oh, that totally took care of itself. I shouldn't have been worried about it in the first place. And so it kind of reminds you that 99% of all things that we worry about never happen anyway. So it kind of helps your mind stop worrying so much. So that is like wasted energy. So
my journaling is letters to my friend who is God. So just whatever I want to talk to him about.
That is perfect, Christina. I love that. So actually, I was going to stop right there and see if anybody had anything they wanted to share before we move on to the next subject.
If you're starting out with affirmations and you have a hard time like remembering to do them, there isn't like some really good apps that you can do or that you can download, and it'll send you reminders. It'll tell you to like breathe and, get in the good mind space. So that's really helpful.
Okay, awesome. Kristen, do you know right off the top of your head what the name of those apps are? Or maybe you can text them to me or something?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. And I think it's just affirmation. It's like a blue. Let's see. I deleted it. I'll find it again and I'll send it to you.
That'll be perfect. And then I'll send it out in the email with the YouTube video. All right, awesome.
Affirmation reminder. That's what it is.
Affirmation reminder. Okay, I am going to make a note of that. And I'll add it to the email that will come out. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Okay, so let's go on to the next thing. Time management, you guys. This is life management. And I probably hear more than anything from consultants about I don't know where my day goes. I need to plan my time better. And, we all can work on that. And there are days that I am like laser focused. And there are days that I'm like, it is chaos in my brain. It's like scrambled eggs. And so, when I am feeling that way, when I am feeling chaos in my brain and I cannot focus on anything, what I have found that really works to like get myself calmed down, thank you, Kristen, is I will find a quiet place, not in my home. I will tell y'all that, because sometimes the chaos is your home, and my home is not chaos, just so you guys know. But sometimes you have to get out of your home to do this. So like last Thursday, I sat outside at Edgar's for probably 3 hours. I had lunch there, and then I sat outside for a long time. And what I did was I just wrote down, made a list of every single thing that was on my mind. And so when I had, like 3 different lists, like for my business and then for my personal. And so just once I had that all written out, it just cleared my mind, and I was then able to put it into categories and to start planning out my days for the next week. And so when you're feeling that chaos, it is best to get it all down on paper. Percy, did you have something?
Me?
Yes.
Yes. Another thing that helps me to get more focus when I'm feeling down is I use those oil. It's a citrus oil.
Hmm.
Uplift my spirit. Sometimes I'll just put a little there and a little underneath my nose or whatever, and it really does help.
That is good to know too. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Did you say it's citrus, Gracie?
Yeah. I have it right here. It's
Okay.
Yeah. Did you get that like at Lowe's or something?
huh?
Where
It's,
did you?
it's essential oils.
Okay.
It's calming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I also listen to, like, I have just like you could probably do it on Spotify or whatever. Just search for I search for music for focus, and it's just like random music, and it like really like focuses my brain. So there's that. So here is the thing, you guys. I'm not going to go through all of these things that's on this list. I want to go over here first, and then I'll explain it. Okay, if you guys will just give me 2 seconds, I'm going to actually mute myself for 2 seconds, and then I'll be right back to you guys. Okay, sorry about that. I had set up camp at the kitchen bar and Frank came in. And so anyway, I didn't want to disrupt him getting his dinner. So anyway, so here's what I want to talk to you guys about next. And this is time management and life management. And on this page, at page 7 and page 8, here is something, I just made a list of all the things that you might need to do in your business and you might need to do in your home, or your life and your job and all that stuff. Now, all of these things may not apply to you, but I just wanted to like write out all the things that you might need to do. And as you are planning out your schedule, where do you need to fit these things in? Or maybe you don't need to fit these things in at all, but you have other things you need to fit in. So, you may not have to worry about cooking dinner for your family or a job that you have to go to or whatever. So that wouldn't apply to you. So these are some things to keep in mind when you are filling out your weekly plan sheet. And so I have, what I recommend doing, I put 4 of them in here, but what I recommend you doing is making multiple copies of the weekly plan sheet. And so what you're going to do, and with permission, this is Alana McKinney's weekly plan sheet with the way her life is right now. And you can see here, it's a great example how she fits her Mary Kay in. And so, like she has her family time, she's got it color coded, she works a full-time job, she works her Mary Kay, she's got a husband. So she's like juggling all of these things just like everybody else is. So this is what her weekly plan sheet looks like. And so what I recommend you doing, if you possibly can at all, sometimes you can do this and sometimes you can't, but what I really like is for every week of my life to look alike. And I know that sounds boring and mundane, but I feel like boring and mundane is like the best lifestyle. It does not, that way everything is calm, everything is the same. So like every Monday, I know exactly pretty much what I'm going to do. Now, every Monday doesn't go the same. Sometimes I have a little hiccup here and there. Every Monday kind of looks the same. I know what I'm going to do on Mondays. I kind of know what I'm going to do on Tuesday, Wednesday, every day. I kind of know. It's like ingrained in my brain because I have done it this way for years. Most of my Saturdays, I know I'm going to be doing a party at 10, 1, or 4, or 9, noon, and 3. On Sundays, I do not work my business. So if you contact me on Sunday and I don't respond to you, please forgive me. I'll get to you on Monday. But I try not to work at all on Sunday because that is my time to chill. I go to church and I spend time with my family and whatever else that needs to be done. So what I want you guys to do with this is I want you to create that weekly plan sheet of where you are fitting your Mary Kay business into your life as it is right now. And the items that are listed on page 7 and 8 are some things that you might want to consider that you need to fit into your business. Does that make sense? The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to create what your ideal week would look like if you could design the week of your dreams. Does that make sense? Okay, so what happened when we did this exercise, when we did our last pace setters, when Alana and I sat down and we talked about this, she told me about her life the way that it is now, which I know because I've worked with Alana for a couple of years now. And then she started telling me about what her dream life would look like. And I completely lost her. Like she went to that place. Like if you ever talk to someone and they are describing something that they want so bad that for a moment in time, they're actually in that place. They're right there with you, but they're in that place. And I think it is so important for you to design the week of your dreams. Like for Alana, her husband is a police officer. He's off on Mondays, or Sunday and Monday. So she would love nothing more than to take off every Sunday and Monday and spend with him. She would work her business pretty much all day on Tuesday. She would have family time. All the blue on here is family time. Green is Mary Kay time. Her yellow is like office time and booking and coaching and all of that good stuff. And then again, every Saturday. And like when she was describing this, you guys, I completely lost her. So I want you all to go through this exercise of both the way it is now and the way that you want it. And so there's some blank ones in here. Actually, I put 4, but I think it's a really great idea if you can, maybe make about 10 copies, have about 10 copies, because the first few that you do, it'll look good, but you'll want to edit it until you get it the way you want. So mine has been the same for quite a while. It's good to revisit it about every 6 months. So I'm getting ready to make some changes to mine because I see some things that needs to change. So does that make sense on the weekly plan sheets? Okay. And trust me, if you will live by a weekly plan sheet, it just makes life so much better. It creates more discipline, and believe it or not, we are all hungry for more discipline in our life. So, all right, so this next thing that I want to share with you guys is our goal setting. So sometimes we get discouraged when we don't reach our goal exactly at the time that we think that we need to reach our goal. But everybody faces obstacles. And you know what, you guys, that is just preparation for the position that you are working for. And so, there's a lot of things that's going to come up. But if your road looks like this, just that straight and narrow path, how could you possibly help someone else get to the place that they want to go to? Like, if it looked like this, mine looks like this, you guys. I don't know about you all, but this is what mine has looked like. Okay? So don't think that just because I am a sales director and I am at the level that I am right now, that everything has just been Oh, it's been easy. I haven't had any obstacles. Nobody's ever said no to me. Nobody has ever no-showed or stood me up. No, it's been this. It has been this. So just know that you're not on this. We've all, everybody, every national would say, even Mary Kay, imagine what it was like for Mary Kay. It was not this one, it was this one. So just remember that sometimes those roadblocks are there for a reason. The things that we face, it's all there for a reason. It's all preparation to get us to the place that we all want to achieve. So with the goal setting, here's a checklist to ensure that you are using a successful framework to set your goals. So first of all, Christina, your goals are not Kristen's, and Kristen, your goals are not Christina's. So you have to set your own goals. It's not your sales director's goals. It's not your spouse's goals. It is what speaks to you. What is it that you want? And you're not trying to please somebody else by setting those goals. You're setting those goals because this, in your heart of hearts, is exactly what you want. Okay? And your goal must mean something to you. Why are you working for that goal? Like, it can't be just, oh, I want to be a sales director because I want to wear the suit. I want to be, it's got to have more meaning than that. It's got to give you drive, and it's got to give you energy, and it's got to get you like springing out of bed every morning because you cannot wait to get up and work on that goal. Obviously, it needs to be specific and measurable. So a goal is not a goal if you don't share it with others, if you're not specific about it, and if you don't set a timeline for it. So all of those things need to happen. So you need to be very specific about it. And when you decide what it is and when you're going to accomplish it by, then you need to share it with the people that are going to be most supportive of you. Not those people that's going to give you lip service, but the people that's going to also help you to be accountable to that goal. And so the goal might be, I want to be a sales director by this day. And so what would be amazing is to really work on the timeline and what needs to happen along the road to hit that goal. And then you're measuring those milestones to get to that goal. Does that make sense? And it's good to have that person in your life that's going to hold you accountable to that. Obviously, you want it to be challenging and exciting. If it does not make you sick to your stomach, it's not big enough, to be quite honest. Like, if you're like, oh, I cannot do this on my own, then you've got a good goal. If you're like, oh yeah, I got this, it's super easy, then you need to go back to the drawing board, bottom line, okay? But it also has to be realistic. So you can't be sitting at consultant today and say, I'm going to be a national sales director in 6 months. That is not realistic. I'll just tell you that right now, okay? If you do it, tell me how you did it, because I want to do that too. So I love this. I found this online. If you're 4 feet tall, you're probably never going to play in the NBA. So that is an unrealistic goal. So, and of course, it must be supportive. And like I said earlier, when you share your goal with others, you need to make sure that it is the people who love you, who support you, and are going to be there to encourage you and hold your feet to the fire at the same time. Does that make sense? You don't want those people saying, I knew you couldn't do it anyway, so you might as well just go ahead and quit. So this is some homework for you guys. Your goal setting and your time management homework. So you're going to go through these things. Oh, you know what? I did not. I will correct this for you guys. And instead of saying September 30th, I'm going to change that to December 31st. Okay, because I like to work in like quarter increments. So this was from the first pace setter. So I'll change that to December 31st and resend that to you. But these are some things that I want you to consider. And I want you to take some time to really think about it and what is realistic and what gets you excited and where you are committed to landing by December 31st. And so I want you to share that with your sales director. If I'm not your sales director, share it with your sales director, but share it with me too, because you guys see me on a regular basis and I want to be there to help you remain accountable to that goal. Does that sound good? Okay, so these are all great things to think about. And then when you're talking about your visionary planning, I want you to picture your success. Be bold in creating that vision. Make it so that it is so powerful that it moves you. You're connected with it. Like last night when we heard Gracie talking about her why story, I mean, you could hear the emotion, you could hear the passion with what she was sharing. And so create that kind of passion for what you are working for, like create that vision. And so you want it to be appealing to you, like that thing that is going to get you out of bed. So this is something I found online and I love this. So the oldest part of your brain, it takes care of like the reason that you want to create a picture. Like if you create a picture that you can see on your phone every day or a poster. Behind me, y'all probably can't see what this is, but this is a vision board that my husband created. And I didn't know he created this vision board until he had it at work for a long time. But the thing that I'm just gonna share this with you guys. It's a roadmap, and what he's got on there, let me see if I can get it close so you guys can see it. Can y'all see that? Kind of good, kind of okay? Okay. So down here at the bottom, over here, he was one of 9 children, and he was number 5, so he was in the middle, so he's like this. He went to University of Tennessee. These are some of his favorite things that he worked on at Boeing. The heart represents me. That's when he met me. Isn't that so sweet? And then these are some of his stress things that go. And then he goes on up here, and this is like where he's going to retire. But you guys, look at this. There's a pink Cadillac on there. Like I have to have that. That is hanging in my office across from my desk. Like I'm sitting at my table in my office right now, but at my desk, I can look up and see that every single time I look across the room. And that motivates me. So I want you all to create a vision board that you're going to see every day and like make it the screensaver on your phone. And the reason that you want to do this is we have 3 sections in our brain. I think it's 3 sections. Yes. 3 sections in our brain. So this first section, the reptilian brain, is the oldest and the unconsciously takes care of the psychological functions, like the things that we don't even think about. Your heart is beating. You don't really make any effort to make your heart beat. It just beats. You're breathing. You just kind of take that for granted. It just happens. Then you have the youngest part of your brain, the neocortex, and it understands language and it does your conscious thinking for you. Then the middle part of your brain, it does not understand language. It only understands pictures. And I think this is the biggest part of your brain if you want to know the truth about it. This brain also is where our unconscious thoughts and emotions live. So if you've got some emotions or thoughts going on, it's coming from this part of your brain. Tell it to simmer down. So creating a picture of what your goal achievement looks like speaks the language of this part of your brain. And you feel this part of your brain in your body more. So wouldn't you agree that when you are feeling an emotion, like when you have a thought that creates an emotion, you feel it all over your body? So, right? So it's either a good feeling or it's a bad feeling. And so that's why you want to create these pictures of what you're going to achieve, and you want it to create an emotion when you look at that. Like when I saw this vision board that my husband had created, like I'm not a crier. I was almost crying because it involved me. And so anyway, sorry, I'm getting all mushy on that. But that is why it is so important to have those visuals and have them where you can see them. So whatever it is that you are working on, maybe you want a boat that you and your family can go out on, and you would like get a picture of that boat and maybe like put some pictures of your family in that boat, and you're going out and you're watching the sunsets, and I don't know, I'm just making all that up, but whatever it is that you are working on. So look online, look in magazines, photos, drawings, go beyond. I mean, collect some pictures, start putting together a pic collage of all of those things that really move you, and create some sort of vision board that's going to move you emotionally when you see that. And so this is not something that's going to, I want you all to have this done over the next 6 weeks because I want you to take your time. I want you to put some thought into it, and I want you to create the vision board that totally moves you. Like, this is your future. This is your vision. So let's just say, like, my goal is to build a national area. And so I have a vision in my mind of what that's going to look like, for my family. I even have a vision of what it's going to look like when I'm on stage giving that national speech. And my directors are there, and my family is there. And sometimes in the middle of the night, if I can't sleep, I practice my speech. So that does not help me with the sleep, because that makes me get too excited and then I don't sleep all night. But anyway, just like, have that vision. And that way, when you're going to that place in your mind, even if you don't have that picture, it's up here because you've created on paper and you've seen it over and over again. Is this making sense, you guys? Okay, so this is, like I said, this is going to be homework. Not going to go through this, but I want you to go through this and work on it over the next 6 weeks, and like, show me your progress. If you've got progress, show me your progress. At the end of the 6 weeks, when we get finished with Pace Setters, I want you to show me what your vision board looks like. And that way, when you have those moments of not feeling it, you've got that dream of what your dream life would look like on a weekly plan sheet, and you've got this vision board of what it's going to look like when you get there. And so it takes you back to, this is why I'm doing this. And then you've got some self-coaching questions that you can ask yourself as well to like just jerk yourself back into place. So we all need that. We all need those self-coaching coaching questions to ask. So I love this down here at the bottom. We are limited not by our abilities, but by our vision. Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams? Who looks inside awakens? Does that make sense? Who looks outside what dreams? Who looks inside? What makes you tick in here? What gets you excited? Makes your heart beat faster. Okay, so I'm going to take off the screen share, and I will unmute everyone. And if you've got some feedback, you want to share anything from tonight, and then I'll let you guys know what we are going to be covering next week as well. So anybody got anything you want to share? No?
I like the idea of the vision board because all my life I've wanted to do stuff. I wanted to go to Juilliard, but I never danced. I wanted to write movies, but I never did that. Yeah. And that's one thing I like about Mary Kay is it's making me stop and think, all right, yes, I want that pink Cadillac, but what do I have to do to get there? What steps do I have to take? And that's why it's really hard for me to want to share with people, especially about my goals and my visions, because I don't want that accountability. If I want to have three parties this weekend, but I don't tell anybody, then, if it goes sour, then I don't feel so bad.
That is sometimes fear of success also, Christina. Like, a lot of people say, I am afraid of failure. Most of the time, it's more about being afraid of success. And for the longest time, I had a hard time understanding that. But when you are successful, you've just raised the bar for yourself, and people are looking at you with a different set of eyes. So that means you got to remain there or keep on going up. You cannot go, once you go here, you can't come back down here. And so just so you know, for all of you all, this is a safe place. When you share your goals among your Mary Kay sisters, we do not judge you. We are here to support you and encourage you every step of the way.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Anybody else got anything? Okay, so I'm so excited about this. Thank you guys. And we finished a little bit early tonight, so that makes everybody happy, I know. So let me tell you what we're going to be talking about next week. It is, oh my gosh, this is going to be really good. Actually, Brianna will be doing most of the training next week. So I know y'all are excited about this, but we're going to be talking about lead generating, which that's been like on everybody's mind recently, booking your appointment, overcoming objections, and of course, coaching your appointment. So those are going to be our hot topics for next week. And so any questions or